Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's September 1st. We're starting September with a bang, 8:37 p.m. Thank you so much for being live with us. This is LPO Live. Drop us a like, subscribe, double click on the notification bell, subscribe to our channel to support us. Definitely, I will have to say, we'll read all your comments first and foremost, but we are third, guys. Third in the East. Yes, we're third after a little civil war there, Team Captain America, a little civil war. We came up, we overcame the obstacles, and obviously we are third in the East. We were projecting when we first started the season that we were going to be in this position, and I'm so happy to say that we're actually looking very good. Now, obviously, Wilder Cartagena and that double pivot surely was missed in this game against Charlotte. The conditions of the pitch they were really bad, but amongst all, I like the reaction of the team. When they were faced with adversity, bouncing back, that is definitely a great feat. A massive 1 point away against Charlotte. Now we have even a tougher fish to fry, in my opinion, which is Cincinnati, one of the top teams in the East, with one of the MVPs in the league right now, Acosta, one of the top goal scorers. But we have Facundo Torres, there's a lot of things that people are talking about, why Angulo didn't start and things like that. We'll discuss all of that and more as well. We want to give congratulations to Messiah Bright, NWSL Player of the Month. So definitely exciting for the Orlando Prize striker. So very happy to find that out. So, and also, Papi. Right? I said it. Yeah, I said I was never gonna call him Papi. I was like, Papi, Papi, ven aquí, Papi. No, great. He's shutting mouths, shutting the haters up right now. If you ask me, if Orlando wins against Cincinnati, Orlando's coming with a really high momentum. I think the highest momentum we've ever had if we beat Cincy, to crucial derby games, right? Obviously, NYCFC and then Inter Miami. And if Orlando comes out with a win, I mean, I'll say Oscar signs for a couple more years. Now, what are the fans going to say? Oh, we need to move on. We need to, maybe. But, it's up to the discretion of the club. But definitely they're making good strides. The numbers are benefiting not only the team, but also Oscar's, stands here in the club. So everyone's happy. The team is winning, is performing very well. Obviously, always things to be better at, right? Like finishing the play and all of that we'll talk about in just a minute. But definitely excited. Here's John with me today. We're going to read some comments before getting John live. Victor Sanchez, Papi Colombia, carajo. Thank you. JCBs, buenas noches, everyone. Let's go see. Good point on the road. Fantastic, yes. Vamos Orlando, carajo. Let's be in Cincinnati. 0. City Lions 85. How you doing, my friend? Orange, like West Orange High. How you doing, my friend? John, how are you, my friend? How's everything?
Good, buddy. Yeah, another 3-game week for us here. So it was nice to have a game on Wednesday to watch, even though I would have liked to have won. But I don't know. There's something about Charlotte, man. What is it? What is it about them, Luis? We struggled in that game. We should have won at home, which we lost, and then the Open Cup we lost, and then this game we're on top. We should have got 3 points. But one thing I will say is they are also on a streak of form, and they are playing fairly well themselves. So I'm looking at this one. I think there's a lot of factors that ended up in the reason why we got a draw. Just unlucky with some calls. Playing on turf, the midweek game, something about the fact we can't seem to beat Charlotte. All of those things just kind of ended up with, just us not being able to get the 3 points like we'd hoped on the road. But we rescued a point with Martin Ojeda's, everyone's thinking that the man is crossing and he's shooting, Luis. He's shooting for wherever he wants. I think if you remember earlier in the season, like early in the season when he first started playing for us, he would do a lot of those shots from really far away, like an open play from that distance. And we were like, one day, one of those is going to go in. And he just came off of a corner. I mean,
I'm glad it was
hit.
today. I'm
What a hit
serious.
by Martin to rescue a point. So that was great to see him on the score sheet, and happy that we didn't go home with an L from Charlotte.
Yeah, something that affected tremendously in Charlotte's performance, and Orlando could have definitely turned it around and won the game too. They were really close. Was the injury of Brecht DG Gare? I guess I'm gonna pronounce it that way. I don't speak French or whatever that is. Sincerely, I mean, he was definitely being a threat. With Bronico and Sidursky, but once he came off, I think Junior and Dagger did a better job at that point to definitely push the team a little forward. Now, I will say the conditions. Now, you have to understand there was a hurricane happening that passed through Tallahassee and then went all the way up there. Now, the weather conditions in the pitch, number one is turf. Obviously, playing in the league, you have to get used to playing in any type of surface. But I felt there was a lot of imprecisions in the passes, in the touching of the ball. It seems like the ball was like completely, it was slipping a lot, and it was kind of, if you've seen Ojeda's goal, how it bounces and then it goes in. That is pitch conditions. So in a way, it went into our favor for sure. A fantastic banger from Martin, but those wet conditions meant that some of the passes were probably a little slower than we wanted to, and that made, because Charlotte knows how to play in that pitch, his performance to be a little better. If we would have played this game in Exploria, I guarantee Orlando would have won that game. In my opinion, I think Orlando was a better team, and it definitely, I love the way they bounced back. Phenomenal game by Cesar Araujo. I think he ate up the mid. Um, People are saying that he played a little aggressive, but I don't think so. I think he was just trying to definitely make sure you know, he usually gets a lot of help from Wilder, and I kind of felt that Junior was eased into that position, and it started working okay, but it was not the same type of press because Junior is more of an attacking player, in my opinion. Somebody that will go more into the attack. So, good for Cesar Araujo. Robin, he's fine, guys. Thank Jesus. He's okay, but we'll go from there. Let's read some comments real quick. Victor Sanchez, Orlando need to stop Lucho tomorrow. There you go. JC Beast, I feel like Oscar has found his rhythm and the team is playing well with each other for sure. Buenas noches, everyone. Let's go OC. Correct. I'm very happy with that. Obviously, I will say that the Copetti thing, right? Both of them played in the same team before, Racing Club. That's how you will pronounce it in English, but it's Racing in Spanish. Racing Club, a big team in Argentina. They knew each other. They had a little history, and it showed. I honestly felt that was not a penalty. I feel like Enzo was he sold the play very well. I'm kind of quite surprised why that didn't go to further. I don't know, what are your thoughts regarding that PK, John?
I mean, it's a bit of both, Louise, right? Like Capetti, he knows that if he gets in front of the ball, that someone's going to try and get the ball, and he just needs to get a leg in there. But also, if you watch it back, Schlegel's like almost got his back to him when he throws the leg in there. So it's a bit of both. Like Schlegel, it's classic for him, I would say, Luis. Like last week I talked about how he had such a good. Sorry, earlier this week, about how he had such a good game at home, and then this game he just goes back to what we see a lot from him, was where he's sometimes a bit clumsy, or he just does something that is unnecessary. And there was Janssen right behind him and Pedro, so he didn't really need to throw that leg in there. And because you do, and Capetti's a smart striker who knows that Schlegel, like you said, is probably going to throw a leg in. He kind of played off that, and yes, it's a very soft foul, but there is contact, so you can't really argue that it's not a foul. It's just one of those, Luis, that's like, really, you're going to give that? And Capetti, yeah, he kind of bought it, and Schlegel shouldn't be doing those things. We hope, and that's the problem we have with Schlegel is it happens a little bit too often, and when it happens, it costs us a goal. And this was a prime example of that situation. I think it's one of those that we could complain, but if you look at the rules, you're gonna say is contact, in the box. Is that enough? The ref looked at it. It's arguably a very, very soft penalty.
And then this guy right here. I mean, that ball that he got, that save. Uh, I mean, Charlotte had the goal to go on top of Orlando with that a header by Derek Jones, and then Pedro just came through. Man, I'm telling you, in the best. He's such in good shape.
He almost got the penalty too. He went the
Yeah.
right way. He just couldn't quite get there with that other arm.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy for Pedro. I think he's coming um into a good momentum. He's very Orlando's quite famous in Peru. I think it'll be good for Orlando sometime to do like a
Luis,
friendly game.
you need to tell some of these other Peruvian players to come play. Be like, hey, look at Wilder and look at Pedro. You guys.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to. I
We
mean, there's a lot of
we need a
talent there.
center back and a right back next season, I think, Luis. So let's send some more Peruvians over. They
Yeah,
seem to do well for us.
I throw the bone right here, right now in this show, knowing the Peruvian situation. Alexander Callens, former NYCFC center back, iconic for NYCFC. Right now, he's selling hats and hot dogs in Spain. He's the sixth option as a center back in Spain. He left NYCFC when he was a top 5 center back in the East to go to Spain for the dream of playing in Europe, right? To be relegated to be the sixth option. They need to bring him back into the MLS right now. I don't know if it's like any team, dude. But I mean, he's a great defender. The problem, and he could play right back. He could play a left back and center back. So, he has that dual positioning, and I'm just so sad to see that one whole year going to waste, one whole season going to waste for this dream of playing in a small club in Spain. It's a very small club, Girona. Unbelievable. But here's the goal from El Golazo. Look at the people. Look at the Charlotte fans right here. They're yelling. There's people that are ponchos and everything because of the rain conditions.
Do we think he was shooting, Luis? Do you think it was just a
I think
really nice cross that everybody
I think
missed?
he was a very nice cross.
Yes. It's a beautiful ball.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, he was crossing.
I'm like, someone should. I was at the time was like, no, someone get that, and then I was like, wait, it just fell in anyway. And everyone was so surprised.
I praise Salim, which I'm so happy that he's in there, and the depth of Orlando. I'm telling you, Oscar knows these players from OCB, man. He's gonna ease them up.
Luis, apart from the beginning of the season, that's the only time that we've seen, I believe. Well, I think it was AC was injured at the beginning of the season, and he couldn't start, so Salim was getting some time. And so, I think, Luis, I would say we need to see him more because I'm very worried right now about the Janssen and Antonio Carlos situation. For good reason. We see this every year, dude. I mean, they're great center backs, but they have injury problems and they get tired. And, there's a reason Janssen's treading on his own. Yeah. Antonio's still waiting to come back from injury. We need guys to step up. So we need Salim to get minutes because he's going to be used at some point. It's going to happen.
And I think Oscar saw the same thing with Angulo in this game. He wants to give him a rest because he knows he's going to need him against Cincinnati. So obviously, If you think about it, you pick your poison, right? You know, mano a mano against Charlotte, we are probably a better team overall. So he probably felt, okay, this game I make him rest. Let him not do the whole wear and thread of these games back to back, and let me rest him. Antonio Carlos, I've and this is my own personal opinion, not to knock him as a person, as a player. He's a fantastic human being, fantastic father player, but I believe we're watching the last season of Antonio Carlos in the Orlando City jersey. I mean, Orlando, if they want to reach that MLS gold, we can have our starting DP center back injured twice in a year, and it's not him. The situations that happen within the game, but that's probably why you're seeing, like you said, John Jansen training by himself and trying to recoup as fast as I can. And you're completely right. We need to see more Kibugunchi. We need to see more Abdi Salim. And I love this ball because look, if Abdi would have been not with the team and he would have just jumped and tried to head it, but he saw probably how the ball was coming and he just didn't do it. He just didn't move. He just let it pass. And because of that, because everybody is so concerned of him going for the ball, they lost track. Jones loses track of the ball, and then it bounces down and goal. So,
They all
good,
expect him to head it because
yeah,
he's the big center
good
back in the box.
positioning. Yeah, good positioning by Abdi, and it shows that he's definitely meshing well with the team. Let's read some comments. Banjo, I remember seeing AC wanting to leave next season. Correct. JCBs, we'll love to see more of the selección in the team. I agree. Etramic, I don't think we're going full throttle this match, knowing that we have Cincy tomorrow. Correct. I agree. And for us not going full throttle, I'm happy. I'm happy. The amount of times that Galese has saved us this season is insane. Club legend. I totally agree. He's the Adrian Vinter of our generation. Right.
I mean, how many years we were like, who's a goal? There's the years of Bendick and like Earl Edwards Jr. and all these
No,
guys that
what was the guy who had the long hair? Well, I forgot his name.
guy with the long hair. I don't know, man. We had
He
so
ended up
many
he ended up goalkeeping for the
keepers.
Galaxy.
I mean, our first ever game,
Rowe. Remember Rowe?
Brian Rowe,
Brian
yeah.
Rowe.
I mean, our first ever game, Luis, in MLS, we had Donovan Ricketts in goal. So we've never, until Pedro, we never had a
Mm.
goalkeeper who was like up there as one of the best in the league, and we could just be like, "You're solid, put you in goal. We know what we're going to get out of you." And so, sometimes Pedro has a game where I'm like, maybe that wasn't your best,
Like the
but
last one, right?
90% of the time he's coming up with saves like this that keep us in a match, and that's what you want from a keeper, and that's what
There's
Pedro provides.
another goalkeeper, exciting goalkeeper brewing in Peru. I'm gonna give the hint if Ricardo Mereda is watching. Young kid coming up, getting his first year playing for one of the biggest clubs in Peru, Universitario. Diego Romero. He's taller than Galese. He's 18 years old, but he's like, I mean, he's like making one-handed saves like Pedro. He's like already like he's already really excelling in the
He's in
in
the
the
Pedro school, man,
in the
already.
first
So
division. Yeah,
yeah,
so
he's
he's
gonna come over and
if
keep
if
learning.
y'all want like a player that is on the up and up, young kid, in case Pedro leaves, I mean, he'll be a great option.
I think
300 saves.
Otero's got a big future ahead of him as well. Eventually, I'd like to see him get some
Yeah,
more minutes with the first
Otero
team,
is
perhaps
fantastic.
at
Yeah,
some point.
300 saves for a Pulpo. Correct. It was announced today. 300 saves for Pedro Galese. I will have to say the best goalkeeper Orlando has had. With all the respect of obviously the legend Miguel Gallardo, because Miguel Gallardo playing in USL, I will
Yeah,
say
different
he,
eras, like you said, different eras.
yeah, he won championships also for the Lions, but it's different eras. And I still want the throwback Orlando City kit. We should have a throwback kit. Why can't we have a throwback kit?
Luis, next year will be 10 years.
Exactly. Oh, Orlando.
Don't worry.
Unbelievable.
Things are happening.
All
I'm sure
right.
the powers that be know how to please the people.
I
They know how to
complete.
do a retro kit.
Luke Minock, thank you so much, Luke. Definitely saw Dagger Dan out of his depth at moments. Would like to see him slowly integrating to the team since he's been introduced into a new position, but solid performance overall. Of course, that I'm impressed with Dagger Dan. I'm actually drinking the your Kool Aid, John. Definitely, I'm drinking it right now, right here, straight up. What a player. He's definitely a breath of fresh air in that position as a right back, man. Do you think it was his game against Charlotte?
Yeah, I think he's gonna have off game. Like he's a box to box mid who we're asking to play right back. He can defend. I don't disagree that I don't think he can't defend at all. I think that's unfair. I think if you look at the game before against St. Louis on Saturday, I think he was our best defender. He put in a lot of challenges in that game. So it was just this game he seemed to struggle. It depends who's he's against, right? I think certain wingers are going to cause Dagger more problems. But I think also, Luis, this whole game, our wingbacks weren't able to get involved. Like Santos on the other side wasn't able to attack at all. And I think both of them, just the way that Charlotte play, they really overload those wings and there's a lot of 2v1 situations. So we just weren't able to, be the protagonist and push our wingbacks up like Oscar wants to, like we do at home. So I think in some ways that was the case. I thought, Luis, maybe this was the game for Kyle Smith,
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe he's saving him for Cincy. It's going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we bring out Dagger because he wants to put in Kyle because he thinks Kyle is more defensively solid for the Cincy game. But I agree. Obviously, he's learning the position. It's not ideal. Maybe Mikey's going to come back soon. But really, I think between Dagger and Mikey and Kyle, we just got to keep rotating and seeing which one is hot and which one isn't. But this was just one, not so great game from Dagger, but I don't see any reason why he can't keep playing that position for us.
yeah, I'm quite happy with the position that Dagger Dan is playing on as a right back. I love the depth that the team is having, and like I said, now that Cartagena won't be here and Pedro won't be here, I think we need to definitely, in my opinion, we need to definitely have some of the young core of OCB step up a little bit. Maybe Juninho could come play also. I don't know. I didn't, and this is my opinion. To me, it's not been a good season for Felipe. I don't think he's been very
I think Urso is preferred over him now as that
correct.
third
Yeah,
option.
and he just arrived. like you know, um,
Felipe just doesn't seem to. I don't know whether he's just told to go on and only to defend. He just doesn't seem to get in the game. Like I don't feel like he's contributing a lot when he's on the field. You know what I mean? I feel like he's not involved. Weirdly enough.
yeah, correct. I agree. But either way, I mean, it's a draw that puts us, like it shows here, third in the East.
Thanks to
Third.
that Philly loss to
I'm
Toronto.
so happy about that.
I don't know
Thank
how
you.
you
Thank
lose
you,
to
Toronto.
Toronto.
Thank
Oh
you,
dear.
Insigne. You're my boy. And we're
Uh,
third. We're third. We're a point above Philly. Obviously, we're not gonna go and say we are the champions. We're gonna win the league, but it's definitely very exciting to see Orlando third. I don't think we've ever seen Orlando third in MLS and history. So for the people that I would just like to dedicate this, uh, let's just not bicker, guys. Let's just all unite and be all friends, guys. Look, Orlando's third. Let's be happy about it. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Let's keep winning. We're definitely gonna need the good vibes because the team is playing, to me, a team that even the points show it's on a league on its own right now and it's flying, which is Cincinnati. has one of the top players in the MLS right now. I think the story of FC Cincinnati and how they came about is similar to Orlando in a way. Um, and I will have to add that they found their identity this year, and that's been the big key of their success. Uh, and also their fan base thriving and being patient and not like stop supporting them when things get tough, right? And being toxic, right? But definitely working towards one common goal, which is probably getting the Supporters Shield and playing Conca Champions. And I think they deserve it, right, John?
I mean, yeah, it was, I've been listening to Extra Time for a few years, not so much recently, but when I was the first, few years of the since you were in the league, the Extra Time guys they were a joke, Luis, that they were a joke on
Yeah.
that show, as in, the wooden spoon, the Cincy, because those first 2 or 3 seasons, I felt bad for them. We would beat them and happily take the points every year, but they were really not great, Luis. And now that they figured it out and they've got some incredible assets on that team. And honestly, I don't think they can be caught. I think unless they really mess up, I think they've got this they're 10 points ahead on the Supporter Shield with a team of that quality. They'd have to get a lot of injuries, and form would have to go really downhill, I think, for them to give it up at this point. So I fully expect them to go away and be the Supporters Shield champions, and well deserved. And they've done it with losing I forget the name of the striker they lost in the summer to Europe. Brendan, no, begins with a B. I can't remember. But they still have Vasquez, and they have Luciano Acosta, and they
Yeah.
have Barreal on the left back position. They got Miazga. They got a lot of assets. They almost beat Miami and knocked them out of one in the Leagues Cup until they gave it all up in the last 20 minutes. So they're, I would say, the best team in the league. I don't think there's anybody else who would debate that. I think it's pretty unequivocally obvious that they are the best team this year.
No, I agree. And some of the talk of the town that's happening with Ergen Kara, I think it's important to touch on that. It's leaving. He's leaving according to rumors, because it has not been confirmed by the club, right? It's not being confirmed.
No, it's one of those. It's like I think we're all assuming it's as done because it's been reported by many by sources like Tom Bogert, Tommy Scoops on Twitter, and everybody else who are reporting that it's basically done and it is happening. So we're all kind of assuming that it is 100%, but like you said, until the club
Right.
actually announces it, we're all sort of like, oh, okay. I think it's
Well,
just the details, Luis. I think they are
yeah, I
now
agree.
at the point where they've agreed on a fee, and Urchin definitely wants to go. So I think they're just figuring out the details.
This guy is it's not you're not watching The Sopranos. You're not watching Goodfellas. This is, yes, the dawn of Samsunspor. Samsunspor in Turkey. Man, I don't want to mess with that guy. I don't want him as my boss either. Probably
That's
end up
Urchin's new gaffer right there.
that's Ergin's new gaffer right there. They won the league, the second division league. Right here, here's the cup. Here's his medal. The second tier, right? And that's how they became part of the Turkish Superliga this season. And according, to Tom Bogert, I mean, we cannot say. I mean, we can speculate, right? And say, oh yeah, he's leaving. Of course, and yeah, we're gonna report it like we did in last episode. The rumor that came about from NYCFC source and all of that. But Tom Bogert says right here in the statement, Orlando City can confirm that a transfer of forward Ergen Carr is currently being discussed. Obviously, he will not be available for tonight's match in Charlotte. The club will not provide any additional details until terms are agreed and all paperwork is completed. So if the club has not announced it yet, it's because it's not signed yet. Deadline.
Yeah,
I mean, unless it's already happened and they just have not released anything.
it might just be that they're not ready to release it, and then the club, Salmon
Right.
Sport, doesn't want to announce it yet or something. Like sometimes one club says, "Can you
Right.
just not
Because
announce this yet?"
the deadline ended already, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, the Turkish deadline is a little longer
It's still longer, right?
than the regular. The European deadline literally closing today, tonight,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're watching. But the Turkish deadline, I think, is weirdly slightly longer, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they've got a few more
Okay.
days
Ansu Fati going
to
to
wrap that
Brighton.
one up. I want to say on this, Luis, for some reason I don't know why I had it in my head that we signed Urchin Carr for 8 million. I think that's completely wrong. We signed him, we think, for 800,000.
Oh,
So when I was considering this,
well,
and I was
that's
like,
a
wait, they can't
difference.
afford to make the money
Well,
back.
well, that's a
I don't
difference.
know where I got that in my head. So sometimes I have, you got to fact check myself. So we signed him for about 800K, and I think they've probably done a deal to sell him to Sport. I mean, I was looking at their history of transfers. They shell out like, 100, 200K here for a player. So
Mhm.
I think we probably sold him to them for very little money, something that they can afford. But the big thing for me is that we're getting his wages off the books, Luis. And if you look at, which is released every year, the wages. Urchin Carr is our highest paid player this season. Base salary of 1.8 million and a guaranteed 2 million. So the nearest after that guaranteed top figure is Faku on 993. So he's making double what Faku makes, and he's not producing the same amount. So if we're looking strictly from a numbers point of view, it's a good reason to get him off the books, is he's our most expensive player who's on the bench. And in a salary cap league like this, it's just not a good use of resources. So I think he was keen to go back to Europe. We're keen to, figure out someone else as a
Aviento.
striker, bring someone else in. Not now. We can't do it now unless it's a free transfer. And I don't know what kind of quality free transfers we're going to be able to get. So really, we're just freeing up that DP spot
Yeah,
for
guys, this is not FIFA that you can go
no,
to the free agent pool
yeah. There's
and just
not
sign
endless
like
amounts of
somebody
talent
from the
here.
somebody from the Bolivian
Yeah,
league. You know what I mean?
I
Like for
mean,
free.
there are some free agents. We could probably put together a list, Louise, but I don't think they're
Right.
planning
But
to
yeah.
replace him. I think the fact that we've seen Jack Lynn play more is a very big indication
And
that
the
Jack,
praise that he got from Oscar
hey,
too.
yeah, I mean, he put in
I'm
a
like, Jackie
defensive,
Chan, let's do it.
yeah, he really worked hard. I think someone said that he made more tackles than Felipe when they both came on, which I found
Well,
quite an interesting
so
stat.
according to my
But
notes
yeah, I think
here,
it's pretty much done, Luis, from what we
if
understand.
Kara leaves and we pull an Inter Miami, right? We dress up like flamingos. Ojeda may be brought has the ability to be brought down to a TAM GAM player, to a target allocation money player. And then the league allows now 4 DPs. We can certainly see Orlando City get 3 DPs on the off season while maintaining all our locker room.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean that's what we should do,
that's
and I
definitely
think
exciting.
the Wilts are quite happy to throw money
Yeah,
in, man. I think they're like, someone was talking about the money they just recently spent with the Vikings, and if they're investing in the Vikings, that's like we're a drop in the ocean, like really
you
they've
imagine?
spent more money than we've ever spent, I think, at Orlando City, and they've spent some, like I think we bought Faku was our most expensive player, right, ever. So, and I think, what was he like?
13.
Yeah, I want to say. So,
That's like a
other
kicker.
teams in the league
Not
are
even.
out there dropping 20, even more now. Like the level that people are willing to invest in this league has gone up massively.
And
So I don't
now
think we
when
should
it
go out and just start, breaking the
correct.
bank. But I
There
think
you go.
that we are able to go find more guys for 8, 10 million that are top quality young assets that we can hopefully sell, right? Like with Faku, it's you bring him in for 12, but you may sell him for 40 in a season, or, two. So that's the idea. And that's, look at what Thiago Almada is an example. Like, I imagine that they're going to end up selling Almada for, 50, 60
A
million
lot. I
when he
mean,
goes.
Napoli,
So that's what you want
Napoli
to end up
buying him.
doing. I'm all for getting in an older DP9. I think, someone that is guaranteed to get us goals. I think that's a good. I don't think we should be just relying on Duncan
Who?
going into next year, especially that he might end up going to Europe as
I
well.
have I have
So
an idea.
we have to replace. I know you want Romelu Lukaku. That's your boy. The thing is, Luis, Romelu Lukaku is currently being paid something outrageous by Chelsea, like 300,000 a week or whatever. So if he wants that's why he's just riding out that contract. They keep sending him on loan to try and pay off some of that crazy money they're paying him not to play for them. But what we need is a top quality striker like Romelu, who's not too old, but then is out of contract, and we could bring him in for free. Or if they're younger and they're willing to come, I'm all for that. Like, let's go find somebody, of the Faku or of the Ojeda age, like 23, 24, 25, to play up top that maybe we could sell for money in the future.
Oliver Giroud, too old.
No, Giroud is too old, man. Come on. I'll take Lukaku, but Giroud, he needs a Zimmer frame. Come on.
Oh man, Tammy Abraham will be great. Tammy Abraham from a former Chelsea player. I mean, he would. I mean,
We
I
need
have full.
somebody who was once a big guy that's like maybe not cutting it anymore. Like I'm thinking like there's so many options. What we
Antoine
need
Griezmann.
maybe
Look at that.
may
Why
I want someone a
not?
little bit younger though.
But Antoine Griezmann, Alvaro Morata.
I don't know. I think we need someone who has done very well recently in like France or Italy or Germany, and maybe wants to
We
keep
want to break the
playing
bank.
and yeah, wants to come over to
Get
America,
Balogun.
and
Get Balogun.
I like it. That would be nice. But we can
There you
talk all
go.
day, Luis. That's what we got to do in the off
Yeah, I
season.
know.
Let's come up with our list of desired number nines for Orlando
Man,
City.
I'll get like the whole Peruvian team. Aubameyang. Nah.
I think he's too far gone.
Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard, mate. I think as attacking mid, I would take
Yeah.
Jesse Lingard. I think he could be very good in this league.
But definitely, what's coming for us for Cincinnati, right? It's gonna be It's gonna be a big game. Uh, Also, they have not lost at home yet. That's another thing that we're forgetting to mention. Cincy has not lost at home yet. You know, what does Orlando to me have to do to get the win? Score first. Orlando has a percentage. I don't know exactly the number, but when Orlando scores in the first 15, there's a higher margin for us to win that game. And it's true. So I think Orlando needs to take advantage of the set pieces like they've been doing. They need to make sure to score. Now, do you feel, John, that Duncan is on a scoring drought? That he's like, dripping. He's not scoring as many goals as we want him to.
I, I don't want to be harsh on Duncan. I don't think that that's fair to the guy, right? I think that he's now got a lot of pressure on him from being just the rookie, and us throwing him in games and being like, show us what you could do, see if you can do it in this league. He's gone to being the guy that we're relying on up top, and I think that's a lot of pressure. I think this last game, it was just so unlucky that he got called offside on that call. It could have been onside, it could have been off, we don't know, but he kind of needs that. He needs that open chance. I just don't think in the last 3 or 4 games we've been providing him with as many chances, Luis, in some ways, right? Like, is that partly on him? Is that just the way that we've been playing? Are we, going into more of an Oscar system that doesn't, feed the ball to Duncan as much? I think there's many factors. For sure, determined to get back on the score sheet, and I don't think he's going to stop running. I don't think he's going to stop doing all of the things that we like and the hard work that he puts in. He just needs a bit of luck. I think he needs to have a game like that opening where Faku played him in with the 2v1. He needs something like that to happen where he can just get a goal, pick that confidence back up, and then I think the goals are just gonna keep flowing again.
Also, since he has two of the best center back duo in the league right now with Matt Miazga and Nick Hagland, but Hagland to me, he's horrible with players like Facundo. He is a penalty. He gives penalty to rival teams. He's very he doesn't know how to defend speedy, crafty players either on the 1v1 or off the wing. That's why I believe Oscar hold from Ivan Angulo and be like, look, man, you probably have a lot of you probably have a lot of wear and tear right now. Chill in this game. Let the boys handle it. But I need you against Cincy because I think one of the weapons for Oscar is going to be Faku and Angulo on the wings, because that's how you can definitely really make an impact. And Hagland, another thing, if Hagland takes a penalty, he's gonna miss. Here, he's already proven it. So,
Why on earth is
and
Hagland taking a penalty in the first place? Please explain that to me.
well, because he took the penalty against Inter Miami, he completely botched it.
I know that's what I'm saying, but
It
why
was
did they?
disgusting.
It's not like Antonio and Jensen. They're good at taking
Yeah.
penalties for center back. Your average center back does not know how to take a penalty. So why he
Mm.
was taking? If that guy is not the most technical center back, right? Like he's what I call like a very basic kind of just lay the ball off type center back. He doesn't have the passing range, doesn't have the technique on the ball. So it's stupid that they put him in a penalty.
So Cincy is flying. And one of the reasons why is because of this man, Luciano Acosta. He's on the pretty much driver's seat for the Landon Donovan Most Valuable Player Award of 2023. He definitely burnished his MVP candidacy with being named League Player of the Month for August. Um, you're talking about he's fourth in assists. He leads in MLS goal contributions. He also has he's tied with Mukhtar for the leading scorer, 13 goals, right? So how do we stop a player like this? Without Wilder Cartagena, our double pivot was perfect for this game, and that's what I'm saying that we need to see Urso to snap back into form, his old form, like when he used to be with Cesar right there, be the double pivot duo at that time.
So is Wilder not going to be available for this one too?
He should,
Yeah.
but I heard he's I don't know. I mean, he has the team has the they can let him go to fly to Peru, but from my understanding is that he's arriving in Peru on Saturday, so he's eligible to play this game.
Okay.
And knowing Wilder, he wants to play. But
I would love him to play.
in the event he can't, I'll say Urso. He. Now,
Yeah,
have you
the
liked
junior.
Urso?
I do. I think the problem with playing Cincy and playing them with the 4-2-3-1 is like Atlanta did that last game, and I think for some reason I've always seen it when you play the three center backs or the 3-4-1-2 the Cincinnati play. I think that plays very well against a 4-2-3-1 the way it lines up because you end up having those wide players, and you're able to dominate the middle in a lot. Like you overload the middle of the park with your strikers coming deeper and the wingers. So I think for us, like there's a very real scenario where we have to, account for that. Maybe I don't think Oscar's going to change formation, but maybe the double pivot and trying to have Mauricio at the 10, maybe that's not the way for this game. I think if you're looking at, if it's a battle of tens, Acosta's going to beat Mauricio in that battle. It's just a fact. Like, he's a better
Yeah, I
10.
mean, he's a better
And,
team.
and then in the midfield, I think we're very strong in D mid. I think they're also just as good. I think they've got some very, very good defensive mids in, Nwobodo and Kubo. Like, fullbacks where, arguably they have better fullbacks, in Barreal and Halsey, striker. So if we're trying to match them like on the field, I think there's a possibility that we're going to get found out in some places. So I want to see, like you said, I want to see us try and use the wings the way that we want to use them. And I think that's why Angulo was rested. I think he's going to be crucial in this match. I wouldn't even be surprised if you see Angulo at right back. I think that could be an option. I think maybe we go to like a 4-3-3. I mean, we haven't done it at all, but I'm almost inclined to say if Wilder's available, let's put Cesar, Wilder, and Junior in there and not play Mauricio, and let Junior go forward, but also have his defensive solidity. I just think that Mauricio in the 10, I don't think he's going to be able to affect the game in this game.
Personally. One of the things that I've noticed about FC Cincinnati that, especially after seeing Inter Miami play against them, unfortunately with Lionel Messi, they are a great team pressuring the rival. It's asphyxiating the press they do with the players that they have in the mid, especially, and even Acosta is good with the press. He helps out defending. We need to counter that, doing that ourselves. So we need Mauricio to be back and forth, not just pace back and expecting Araujo to take the load. But they need to they're going to quickly apply pressure on us. We need to do the same to them, essentially. Because when we pressure them and we recoup the ball and they're going to try to, or they get the ball and they try to reorganize to go in transition, when they retreat, they lose sometimes communications. And that's when you saw the goals with Messi and the Kremaski and Messi connection, because they are, when you recoup the ball from them by applying pressure at the right times. That's why Junior has to be on point, and I was bringing it up in the beginning of the pod. Mauricio needs to be on point. Facu needs to be on point. Our wings are going to become available for us to start attacking through there, and then definitely open the Pandora's box at that point. And then they're going to be blindsided. You know what I mean?
I think we got to get them to overcommit. And
correct.
then get them on the counter using Angulo and Facu and Duncan. Like, that's the game plan. But I think to be able to get them to overcommit, we need to be solid at the back, Luis. We need to be able to absorb some of that pressure before we're able to get out ourselves. And that's why I'm thinking maybe this is a game for Kyle Smith. Maybe we see Junior in there instead of Mauricio to add more defensive bodies. I think we need to have guys who are willing to run. Like, we can't have too many luxury players in this game, right? And I love Facu, but he doesn't always do the defensive side of the ball, and Mauricio doesn't always do the defensive side. So sometimes that inhibits us, whereas guys like Angulo will do that. So maybe Oscar will pick the guys that he know are going to put in the pressing and defensive effort for him.
And then you have in their back line also defensive players like Yerson Mosquera from Colombia. You have Matt Miazga, former Chelsea player. And you have also one of the revelations on Obina and Wodobo, or Nwobodo. Man, that's horrible.
And Barreal is a big threat on that left wing, man. So,
but when
whoever's playing right back's gonna have their
but when they're
out.
trying to communicate with each other, it's tough on them because one of them speaks Spanish, and then two speak English, and then so that's what I'm saying about the communication. When it comes to our back line, they'll know each other for years. We have that on an advantage that will could make it a little bit more solid when it comes to quickly assemble back when they're attacking. When they're attacking, we can quickly go into position and assemble back, and they know where they're going to be. And there's really not a lot of talk because they play with each other so often. We don't have to give them space to reassemble themselves when it comes to us attacking in transition. That's my point. And how do you do that? By pressing them back the way they press us. If we're going to just be passive and we're going to let them press us, and then we're going to just be just ultra defending and just try to park the bus like that, ain't going to work, because they're going to break that deadlock fast because they got players to do it. You want to say something, John? You want to read some comments real quick?
No, yeah, I think I agree entirely. I think that's the key to this game, and I think Oscar knows that, right? The game against St. Louis gives me hope against this game because before that game we were very unsure whether we were able to beat the top teams in the league, right? Let's be honest, we had not done super well against the top 3 or 4 in the West or East when we played them. Like, we lost to RSL, we'd lost to other teams that were up there earlier in the season as well. So winning against St. Louis for me showed that we can beat anybody and that we have a game plan against the big teams. In some ways, I think we play better against better teams, right? I think we play down to Charlotte in some way, right? I think we'll play hopefully up to Cincy. And I truly believe we can beat them. I think we're going to have to put in a great performance from the boys, but there's no reason why we couldn't steal a win.
It will spark a new rivalry for us if we get the win, because we will be the first team that beat Cincy in TQL this season, and those fans are not going to be happy at all with us. And they have a Cincinnati chili, and they're going to throw those chilies to us from the sidelines with all the spaghetti all over and the crackers, right?
I want to say, man, I think like there are some really good new fan bases that have come out recently. Yeah. I feel like the St. Louis fan base were really good, nice people.
Fantastic.
They came out, and I love them. I think the Cincinnati fan base is beautiful, classy fan base of real soccer fans doing it right. So I just want to throw that out there that both these teams, I think, they're relatively new, have done it the right way. And it's interesting that a part of the country that I never would have said it would be really big with soccer, right? You think
also about with Nashville, look,
the
Nashville
flyover, the flyover states, the heartland, as it were. But St. Louis take their soccer serious, and so does Cincy. Yeah. And they really come out for the team, and it's awesome to see.
That's fantastic. Listen, Luke Minock, thank you so much for your comment. I think Dunk, under the circumstances, has exceeded all at the expectation with the pressures of Kara not scoring. He has really stepped up to the plate, as well as Enrique recently. I agree. I'm so sad about that Enrique shot on the post.
I mean, that game, man, really, like, that's what I wanted to say on Charlotte. It was just down to so many minor things, like the Pedro save that they could have scored from that, right? Yeah. We hit the post with Enrique. Duncan's goal called offside. They get the penalty shout, that's kind of a penalty. Ojeda's ball just goes in from essentially from him crossing it in. Like, all of these things, it just wasn't meant to be, and it ended up with, a draw situation.
There are some good Colombian players. I agree with you 100%. All right. Well, thank you so much for everyone dropping their comments. I wanted to go ahead and just quickly show this video, which is Messiah Bright, Orlando Pride. They player of the month for the NWSL. Let's go.
Messiah Bright, simply sensational.
Mariabello crossing to Bright. It's in. Wow. Superhuman effort, superhuman performance from Messiah Bright.
Simply unreal. Bright turns, fires. Oh! What an incredible goal for Orlando. Messiah Bright rounds there and scores a heavenly assist, and it is all going right for Bright.
There you go. Congratulations to Messiah Bright. They're very happy for her. I'm happy for the Pride as well. Unfortunately, I lost for the Pride on the last game, but definitely a great performance by Messiah Bright. I don't know if Messiah wants to play with Orlando City. I think we need
We need number 9.
we need the depth.
I was wondering, has a Pride player ever won the Player of the Month before? It probably has, but
Well, maybe when Morgan was, or
I don't.
Sydney too, Sydney LaRue,
I mean, probably a
or
long time
Marta.
ago, but not in recent history that I could remember. So it's awesome for Messiah, and I think she deserves it. She's
Yeah,
just such a powerhouse, man, in that league. She's just a problem for defenders. They don't know how to deal with her size and her speed and the way that she is so aggressive. She's just so direct in the way that she attacks. It's awesome to see.
I have a feeling that I think this team next year, or even like hopefully they make the playoffs. But I mean, they're gonna definitely be the talk of the town. I think Messiah Bright is up for the U.S. Women's National Team contention. If I'm the women's team, I am definitely watching on Messiah Bright because they don't have a striker
Yeah.
built
We
like
need to
Messiah
start
Bright.
the social media campaign for
Exactly,
Messiah Bright
Messiah
on the
to
U.S.
the
national team.
yep. There,
Step over, step aside, Alex Morgan. Your time is done. It is time for Messiah
It's time
to
to
be our
San Diego.
number 9.
Yeah, San Diego. So to maybe up, But honestly, I feel like definitely it's going to be great. There's going to be a watch party. Actually, Sunday at 5 at the Game Room Social Club. It's going to be Oil Rain playing against Orlando Pride. So if you guys want to go hang out there, feel free to go. Sunday, September the 3rd at 5 p.m. They'll be serving a lot of brewskis to watch the Pride. Um, Anything else you want to add today, John, that we're forgetting that maybe I'm not really.
No, man, it's these double midweek pods. It throws you off. I know it's a Friday. I feel like a Monday, but no, it's a Friday. But I'm excited for this game tomorrow, man. Cincy, it's going to be a big one. When we played them earlier in the season, we weren't the team that we are now, and we still got a draw. And I don't think they were really the team that they are now, even then. So it's going to be interesting to see, who's developed into the better team. On paper, it looks like Cincy, but we still might be able to get a result here. I'm hoping for a draw, and if we could get a win, I'd be ecstatic.
What's your score for this game, John?
I think it's going to be a 1-1. I think we're going to see another 1-1. I think they're too good not to score, and I think we're too good not to score.
Oh wow! All right, I will go against the grain like always. I will say, for the first time in the year 2023, Orlando City, yes, the Lions, yes, the Kings of Florida will win in TQL Stadium with a brace from Duncan McGuire
Yeah, we need Big Dunk to get one.
and a goal of the corner from Schlegel coming off the bench.
Oh,
3-0 Orlando win. There you go. I said it.
Love it.
If we win 3-0, what does that mean for Orlando? If we beat Cincy, I'm getting excited. I mean, because
Yeah, I mean, we gotta, in order to get the supporters shield, like we'd have to go on a real tear,
of course,
but
it's
I don't think
tough.
that's gonna happen. But I just want to maintain third or fourth, Luis. Come on, man. We're talking about Orlando City. Like you said, when was the last time we finished an MLS season in the top 4?
In the
I
top
don't think
4.
we've ever finished in the top
We've
4.
never
In fact,
done that.
I'm sure we've definitely never finished in the top 4. So I'll be ecstatic if we maintain our position. If we get any higher, if we get into second, I don't even know what I'll do. So
I mean, in a way, the way things look, and if Orlando wins, I mean, we kind of could.
It'd be awesome to do that.
Austin needs to give us a little bit of a push, And who else? Who else is it's Austin and then Philly, right? Philly play.
We want some draws in the East. That's what we want. That helps us get up.
So Philly plays on Sunday against the Red Bulls. So if the Red Bulls and Austin do us a favor, I love Austin. I will say when I went to Austin, like I love Austin. Like I never been to the actual covering Orlando. I didn't go to Austin, but I have been to the city of Austin, which is amazing. Great food, music, all of that. If Austin beats New England and then Philly loses against the Red Bulls and we win, we'll be second, guys. Top two, man. And a new rivalry on top of that.
I love it.
Hopefully, I'm going to, tomorrow, 3-0, man. Orlando City. It says, bros and something. We beat 3-0 Cincy. We finished 4th in 2020. Yeah, we finished 4th in 2020.
Oh, that's true.
We're better now. So, right? So we cannot say
that was a COVID year, man. That was weird that year.
Yeah, that was MLS's back, right?
We did well though. MLS's back, yeah.
Yeah. And Victor Sanchez Lewis, you predicted one time. We hope you're correct tomorrow. Let's go.
That was the last time you predicted us to win 4-0 against who was it? We beat 4-0. Help me, Luis.
I don't remember. I just
I want to say Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto. I think it was Toronto.
You predicted that bang on. And I think you got like 3 out of the 4 strikers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, goals. Correct from who it was. So, yeah, man. I'll love a 3-0. I think that's unrealistic. Sorry to say, but
I know.
You're dreaming. You're dreaming.
No, I'm saying I'm dreaming. If we win 3-0 with the brace of Duncan, he'd be the top goal scorer for Orlando City. Like he's definitely going to the national team. Then you have beating the best team in the East. Like, man,
I'm dreaming if we win.
I'm dreaming.
Cincy. I don't care what the score is. I'll take a 1-0, Pappy special with a 99th minute goal. Right. I don't care.
Yeah, because then we got Columbus at home on the 16th. No. They got Columbus at home. Right. And then we have New York City away. We have to play in that baseball field. I think if we beat Cincy, we go into a really good momentum to face the beast incarnate, and that's not Brock Lesnar. That is Inter Miami, unfortunately.
Yeah. But if we want to win MLS Cup, man, we have to beat these big teams. So, we did it against St. Louis. Charlotte was a bit of a hiccup. Not bad. We still got an away draw against a team that we seem to have a problem with. So I'll take the point. But, if we could beat Cincy on the road, that's a real statement.
That's a real statement right there. Are we going to be in the front cover of Apple TV?
No. Come on. Are we going to be push notifications about the fact that we beat Cincy? I don't think so.
Louise. I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true that the NBA may be coming to Apple TV as well. Trying to get in that MLS bandwagon.
Messi get some of the NBA money? Is that part of the deal too?
Oh man! But anyways, I wanted to thank everyone that watched the show today. If you listened to us, thank you so much for your support. The best way you can support us is by joining all of our social media outlets and just by subscribing to our YouTube channel. We're trying to reach the 1K mark. We're available on Facebook as Loud and Proud Orlando or LP_podcast, as well as on Twitter as LP_podcast. And we're on Instagram as LP_podcast as well, and on YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much for watching us today. And vamos Orlando, guys. Take care. Let's win 3 points. Have a good one.